This episode of the Smoke Pit brought to you by the Nut Ruck by Arbor Arms.
The tactical fanny pack for your nuts and your butts.
Check it out at arborarms.com. Tell them the Smoke Pit sent you.
I thought you were going to hit the button.
I already did. That's why I pointed to you.
The button has been hit.
Sweet. Okay. So just a quick primer on understanding what it's like to be me. There's a part in one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies where Captain Barbossa is responding to what's her name whenever she says parlay or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm disinclined to acquiesce to your request." And she goes, "I'm sorry, what?" And he goes, "No, I said no." And then in my head, he lifts up one of these and he's like, "Ah,
have a bag of these.
Have a bag of these.
Now walk the plank." Fun fact, most pirates actually didn't make people walk the plank because they were too lazy to actually put a plank out. So they would just right off the edge.
How do you know that?
I don't think that's laziness so much as
study.
You just how?
Yeah, with the internet. How else?
You studied pirates and didn't consult me.
Wait, you were there. You were just really
you studied
drunk.
the 30 years of the golden era of Bahaman piracy,
and
you're ready to blanket all pirates with this?
Yeah.
It was actually 70 years, considered to be the golden age of piracy,
Oh.
spanning to 110 years, but 30 years is where most of the pirates that you've heard of came from.
Which is what I call the golden age. if it contains pirates I haven't heard of, for the most part, it's not the golden age. It's
Pirates I
garbage.
haven't heard of is actually the name of his sex tape.
Yeah.
Instead of the golden age, it's a bunch of golden showers.
Gross.
And they
No.
get the booty.
I don't like having to do
Ayo.
anything. I gotta hose my room out for afterwards.
Wow.
That's what
He has a frequent customer punch card at the local sanitarium.
lies.
All right.
Look,
once a week. I know the guy's on a first name basis now. I'm like, Phil,
Yeah,
what's up?
Yeah, you know the guys on the first name basis.
I see them come piping into your room.
You
Exactly.
monkey. No, if I can't do it and then wash my sheets and bleach afterwards, it's not worth doing.
Oh my
Yeah, I
god.
saw they come out with a bucket of blue goo, and I was like, what was even that?
You gotta have limits. All right, we're gonna back off of this topic and go back to the pirate thing because that was funnier.
Yes.
So
I thought it was perfectly hilarious.
I think
I will be inclined to acquiesce your request.
inclined to acquiesce to my request.
Yes,
Nope.
because if I was declined, I'd be disagreeing. Boom, lawyered.
Disinclined.
He was
not
reclined.
declined.
He was
if you were
relaxed and
declined,
saying
you'd been
no.
like. Anyway, I would think that not having just a random plank and all the accoutrement required to attach said plank would be more about saving space. Like, I don't need a plank to knock somebody off a ship. You just yeet them, right?
Right,
You got
but there's
two
no
guys.
ceremony in that.
Yeah, you got two guys who's spent all day just pulling rope and fucking
Pulling their ropes.
pulling actual ropes.
Pulling each other's ropes.
If they're doing their jobs, they're too
Swabbing
tired
ropes.
to pull their own ropes.
Yeah.
But they're swabbing the deck and they're lifting load and all this other stuff.
What are you doing? What is this?
It's Navy terminology, man.
It's not, though.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's not.
It's the Navy.
No.
I picture them all in little sailor outfits.
There's a SWO in the audience. He's gonna throw up.
Well, without knowing, I feel a delicacy in articulating this, perchance to not perambulate from straight road of veracity. Mike, thoughts?
He
what?
definitely practiced that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, first off, it's not the first time he's done that nonsense ramble on the show. And second off, thoughts on what? On plank etiquette?
Yes.
There should be a plank if you're making people walk off the side of a ship, I feel.
It's kind of hard to make people walk the plank without a plank.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get two strong dudes and you'd be like, all right, well, you and you, yeet them off the boat.
How do you think it works on a ship?
Here's
What do you think the day-to-day life of a pirate is, AJ?
Here's my question, right?
Not much different than we just think like you're a pirate on shore duty.
Yeah, you're
Not much different.
You're a butt
Sand
pirate, but
yeah.
not
A
like
butt pirate, yeah.
right, not like a
Yeah.
cavalier, but without the government paycheck.
It's a lot of swashbuckling going
That's
on.
fair. No,
He's a privateer.
That's it. He's a cavalier.
A privateer and a cavalier.
Yeah.
Well, different degrees, but you're
Getting
a pirate.
rum
With
from the Cavalier Hotel. Boom. Science.
Ooh,
yeah,
I like that.
you're a pirate with a government paycheck.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
What an indictment.
Wow.
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 Shut the
But-
fuck up. You know my brother started making fun of me for that, by the way?
Good. He should have.
No, fuck all of you.
So, the thing we were actually talking about this on the way here. If you're a sailor, right? Let's say this is like the 1600s, and you're trying to find the new world. You have to pack X amount of crap into your boat in order to make it the however many months to get there and the however many months to come back. Like if you get here, stand on the beach, plant a flag, and say, all right, fuck it, we're going back to Spain. Right? You still have like a month and a half, 2 months to get there, a month and a half and 2 months to get back. Shit doesn't last that long back then because you couldn't can anything. Everything had to be salted.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of reliance on fishing, and they had to assume that when they arrived, there'd be shit to eat, like animals and plants that wouldn't murder them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the first white/Caucasian individual from Europe that came to the United States and saw a bison and was like, I don't know what this giant fucking thing is, but I want to eat it.
I'm going to have sex with it, yeah.
I mean, two things. One,
Yeah.
I can only imagine that space on a ship has got to be at a huge premium, and that's got to be no different today, right?
No,
There's
for
only
sure.
so much room.
For sure.
And the second thing is that it did bring to mind a interesting kind of, what do you call it?
Scenario?
No, like a
Predilection?
realization about humanity.
Okay.
Like one of those little sound bites you can boil down. 90% of humanity's
Likes thick women.
if they don't, they should. 90% of humanity's history is based on one of two questions, right?
Where are the thick women?
Yeah.
And why are they not here?
Where
Close.
have the giant women gone?
The two questions that drive humanity is
Hella thick, I'm about to smash them all now.
Gas
Speed
pedal.
up.
That's it. We're done. Go ahead.
go ahead.
Fuck.
well, I don't know how long your little
Jeez.
song fucking.
We're talking about
If you listen to the episode, you know we do 8 bars and we stop.
I listen-
Well-oiled machine.
talking about fucking 15th century piracy. We're trying to fucking vibe. Go ahead.
I got your vibe. Right? Go down to the vibe district. Apparently there is one. So the two questions that drive humanity's history is this:
Uh-huh.
can I eat it,
Yeah.
or can I fuck it?
Name me your sex tape. Go ahead.
Boom.
I mean, sure.
So I have 2 thoughts on this. So the Spaniards came to Florida in 1492, I think is when St. Augustine was founded.
Sure.
Something
Clearly
like
a
that.
bad decision.
I'm not a nerd. I don't know stuff.
So
I don't know anything.
I don't know anything.
Because if I knew stuff, that made me a nerd.
Exactly.
they got to Florida and there were alligators and bull sharks and banana spiders and water moccasins and swamps and quicksand, and they're like, oh yeah, this is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you would have had me at alligators. Like I saw a gator. If you're a European and you have no concept of a gator and you see one, like a log comes to life and eats one of your buddies, I'd be like, nope, I'm getting back on the boat.
Yeah.
And see, the thing is, though, is they didn't really expand far from there. They're just like, yes, all of the new continent is like Florida.
Oh my god.
That's how the rest of the world still sees us.
Yeah.
To this day, they're like, America? Yeah, that's pretty much Florida, but like
Yeah.
bigger.
Oh, you mean big Florida? Yeah.
Somebody sent me a meme. It's like, America is the rest of the world's Florida. And I was like, I am hurt
Yeah.
and offended.
And honored. Yeah.
Dan was like, I resemble that remark.
No, because there's sometimes like I'll talk about the shit that happened like growing up in Florida. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, you guys went through that, right? And they're like, no, we did not.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the things Dan and I have always talked about is the reason we're such good friends is we bonded early on and our mutual youthful danger of being eaten by a gator in a swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. That will definitely change your outlook on life.
Yeah.
It's hard to go drunk stumbling in Florida because
Yeah.
either the meth heads, the perverts,
Yeah.
the alligators.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all 3 in one person.
Exactly.
Whatever the local version of MS-13 is.
Either way, you're getting your face eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you just walk down the street and there's a murder log on one side and a banana spider the size of your head on the other, and you're
Yeah.
like,
If you start a death metal band, I need it to be called Murder Log. That's fantastic.
I just need one Mongolian guy.
Oh God, nobody
no.
likes
No,
that.
you want to hear something terrible?
Not even a little bit. Go ahead.
I have to bring this up because
Yes.
A, you're wrong. I've gotten too many DMs about it, right?
Oh, I'm
Like,
sure.
all 8.
Oh, I'm
the,
sure.
the thing I've been DM'd the most about is that.
You and your burner accounts.
The thing that cracks me up is that I was looking at the band that I played as an example, which is my preference, right?
Yeah.
Like they're the ones I like the most.
Mhm.
They did a music video with, I want to say, Chad Kroeger.
From Nickelback.
It was either Chad Kroeger or it was some guy that like had no business being there.
Did they collaborated with Nickelback?
Mike, we have to try this. All right. Do you remember the lyrics to Photograph?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Can you start singing those?
We don't. We
Just the first 3 or 4
we can't have
words.
that cleared. That song is huge. We're gonna get.
Just humor me. Just humor me.
The first thing that gets me about this is I said Chad Kroeger.
Yeah.
And he immediately knew it was the lead singer of Nickelback.
I have a lot of
Ooh.
useless information floating around in here. Yeah.
Well, that makes you a nerd.
And also,
by
first
your
off-
own definition, nerd.
First off, anybody who sings the song "Hero" from the original Spider-Man movie is my hero. Okay, that's a
Wait.
great song.
I thought that was Mark Anthony.
Chad Kroeger.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah.
not I'll be your hero, baby.
Ah.
Yeah.
that's
You're-
Mark Anthony.
Okay.
You're really Floridaing up this conversation.
You and your meth and your
Exactly.
alligators.
Yeah.
All right, but here I'm gonna do the Mongolian throat chanting, and you sing your favorite Nickelback song. I'm sorry.
Did you just have a brain fart and say suck?
I couldn't even finish that sentence. completely without my brain going.
Yeah, that was
I tried to say BuzzFeed the other day, and 4 different times my brain went MT error does not compute.
What'd you say out loud then?
I think I said something to the effect of buzzqueef.
Yes, he said buzz queef.
And they were like, "Why'd you say queef?" I was like, "Because that's what my brain automatically associates with
Buzz
BuzzFeed."
queef. I mean butt feed. I mean,
To be fair, though, like if you've never made a girl queef, you probably don't have a lot of equipment to cause that action. So
I'm going to nerd you for a second and say I don't think that the size of your equipment is what causes
it
air.
is a part of it.
That has nothing to do with air getting pushed up in there.
Oh, really?
Because if you're a dude in a ska band, right, and you're doing the hamster for about the 30 seconds that you're capable of, I'm pretty sure that you can probably still get air up there.
Now, see, my question is, how do you tell the difference between the queef and just air escaping the rolls from some of the girls you've brought home from Salvation Army?
Well, since that's never happened, then that's an erroneous question. Right? You're starting from a false premise.
you and I both know he doesn't take them home.
There's a good enough dumpster behind.
that Goodwill parking lot is enormous. Go ahead.
I'm just over here
Look at
trying
this photograph.
I'm just thinking of ways to murder you with corn so that you can go out as the prophecy demands.
So I can go to Corn Valhalla. Try me.
Corn Holla?
Corn Holla.
That's his shirt. His shirt should have said Corn Holla.
Corn Holla.
Can you make alcohol out of corn?
Of course.
What?
Like what kind of alcohol can you
Like
make?
all of them.
You can a lot.
I thought most was made from potato.
Yeah, a lot is.
No, here's the thing.
So what's
you can,
made from corn?
A lot. It's like so many. You
So
can
name one then.
fucking all of them. Like legit, like all of them.
as the Russians have proven, you
See, this is
can,
why we need an executive producer.
That's true. Yeah.
you can make vodka out of just about any vegetable matter.
Yeah.
Potatoes, I guess, seems to be the most efficient,
Right.
just
Yeah.
because that's the thing they had that they worked with.
Yeah.
And I think radishes or something over in Russia, but
Yes.
Oh
Beets.
yes, radishes.
they had 16 beets after they eat the first 4, and they need something to do with it. They're like, let's make a terrible whiskey with it.
You can really taste the gulag in this batch.
I lie. Actually, when we went to Russia, I bought this thing. It's like it's vodka, but it's the way they made it back in like Catherine the Great's time before they had the copper distilling process.
Sure.
It's so much better than regular vodka.
Oh wow.
It's smooth.
You can taste the depression.
You can taste the bourgeoisie, right? Because it's the stuff Catherine the Great drank. It wasn't that poor shit
That's true.
you get down in the peasant district, right?
The swamps.
So
It wasn't the Florida of vodkas.
So we just got an update from our hosts at Pale Horse Coffee that corn is actually a base in most whiskeys, bourbons, and moonshine.
I told you.
That's
all
what we
of them.
said.
Now,
all of
hold
them.
on. So furthermore, the majority of people who make moonshine out of pure corn end up blind.
That's what's up. I don't see the
Yeah,
problem.
because
I don't see anything.
After I've ruined my life with the moonshine, why would I want to be able to see it?
Exactly.
Yeah, the
You don't
ethanol.
see a train wreck.
Yeah, it's the ethanol. That's why, like when you're making mead, you have
Yeah.
to like re-rack it so the poisonous gas can escapes and doesn't make you blind. But then you won't have to see that you're in Indiana anymore. So.
The two things you can make out of corn that are the best, other than just corn,
Right.
is gasoline,
Oh,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You can make as ethanol, right? And booze. And
All right, then.
Yeah, well, that's the name of my rock band.
And
Gasoline and booze.
and the sex toys that Mike likes to use,
Yeah, just corn on the cob.
but only with himself because he'd never pleasure another woman with a sex toy.
That's true. I don't have time.
Nope. Reputation to maintain, man.
Get
You
it
got
done.
shit to do.
It's not a race, but if it is, I'm winning.
It's a sprint, not a marathon.
That's right.
Nobody got time for that.
Dan is covering his face in shame.
No, take your hands off. I want the camera. I want the microphone to pick up the giggle.
Yeah.
Like the high-pitched whine that comes out of your mouth when you're
Exactly.
laughing at your own friend's embarrassment.
Yeah.
No, I can just imagine like Mike sitting there in his row with a cup of coffee as another girl disgruntled storms off from his apartment. He's like, "Did good work today."
Yeah. Good job, kid. Take a sticker.
She's
A couple batteries.
she's like, "Do you want to cuddle?" Like Mike's still wet from the experience. And she's like, do you want to cuddle? And he's like, "Your Uber is here," and then rolls over. Like he's clearly
Yeah.
still looking, like paying attention. Like he's on his phone playing like a video game or something.
He's already on Tinder again.
He's like swiping. He's like, "Your Uber is here. Get out."
I'll send you a Venmo request for the cost of your Uber.
Erroneous. All this.
Well, no, he just hands her a $10 bill and he's like, here's the difference between the Uber price and the Plan B.
Jesus Christ.
Wow, that's actually smart economics, Mike. I'm very proud of you.
That's math for Marines if I've ever heard it.
So I recently heard that that somebody, one of the followers, reached out to me, and they said something to the effect of that the person that they were with. No, I was trying to remember the story correctly, but basically that they were pissed that they found out that their significant other had bought them the cheaper version of Plan B.
Isn't there only one version?
No, there's
there's always
all the
generics.
knockoffs.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't take it.
Every medication that goes to market that
Uh-huh.
has like a name, like it's Plan B is a particular brand.
Yeah.
Right. Like we call it all Kleenexes, but they're not all Kleenexes.
Mm.
There's a certain amount of time where it is protected by a patent, and then after that it gets released, and then other people can make generic knockoffs. That's why you can buy Equate brand Walmart
Plan Bs.
Tylenol.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say Tylenol, but sure, I don't
So-
try to buy a Plan B from a Walmart.
So imagine being at that point in your life where you need to
That's-
go buy a Plan B, right?
Right.
From
Which-
Walmart.
From Walmart.
Which I get
Kill
it, like
yourself.
mistakes happen. But then the dude that you were with only springs for the discount brand.
Well, what is the discount brand price? Like,
I think it's like $30 compared to 50.
okay.
I'm
Mike,
sorry.
no.
No,
This is
listen.
exactly
no,
what I'm
listen.
talking about.
Don't
I'm
pretend like you don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not like a super bargain shopper, but $20 is $20.
Here's the question,
Yeah.
young queens, right?
Always
should-
slaying.
Should you be with somebody who doesn't care enough about you
Right.
to spring for the more expensive version?
Yeah.
That's like
This isn't like buying bottle service in a club where you got to pay $900 for one bottle of shit vodka.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you have to pay an extra $20 to make sure that she gets the quality that she
Yeah.
deserves.
Yeah.
You just walk up to the table. It's like, what is gray moose?
Or you could go to the store and buy a pack of condoms for $5.
And that was my next point, right? Imagine being a girl and you're like, all right, cool. Like, he's got protection. And then he pulls out a Lifestyles instead of like a Trojan.
So he went to the BAS to get the lifestyle. Yeah, it just shows he's a competent Marine.
Yes.
Yeah. And then it's got the knockoff Plan B pill as well. Like,
Yeah, it's
I
like
think
a
Lifestyles is like one of those perfect examples of good initiative, bad judgment.
Yeah.
Like spring for one that's been tested.
like this is the kind of dude that's, like picking date ideas based on what Groupons are available.
Not a terrible idea.
Wait
yeah,
a
exactly.
second.
Yeah.
Daniel,
Yeah.
What?
you were at one point very
Yes.
quick on the Groupon.
Yeah, and that's what I said because I was at a very low point in my life then where I was doing that.
Yeah.
I very rarely criticize people for things that I haven't done myself at one point in time. Every lesson I've ever learned, I've learned the hard way.
Good.
Or
So-
by watching the both of you fools.
That's my point.
I
So,
have a perfect
ladies and
life.
gentlemen, you heard it. You heard it here first. Every time he criticizes me or Mike,
Yeah.
it's because he has done whatever we have done, and he is angry at himself and is releasing that anger directed towards
It's a lot
us.
of projection. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And Einstein said to continue the same action while expecting a different result is the definition of insanity.
No, he
So
didn't.
unlike the two of you fucks, I changed my ways and became a better, more well-adjusted adult.
Just like that quote that is not real,
Yeah.
the statement you just made is not real.
Exactly.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Not everything you read on the internet is true. You know who said that? Abraham Lincoln. Monos.
Just another example of how AJ lies to our listeners.
Not at all. Google it.
All right.
Google it.
Abraham Lincoln said not everything.
Not that one, idiot. Clearly that's not what I meant.
Oh, clearly now?
I mean,
Now we're making assumptions.
Aberdolf Linkler maybe, but not Abraham Lincoln.
You know what making an assumption does?
Makes an ass out of you.
Nope, just you.
Just you.
Just you.
Just you.
That's what I said, just
I'm
you.
gonna yeet you through those delicious coffee cups. This is why I drink so much, because I have to put up with you.
What?
You have made me a functional alcoholic, sir. Now, you made me an alcoholic. My desire to not have my life go
Yeah.
completely into the toilet and flush it.
That's just
That's why I'm
testament to you.
functional.
Yeah.
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 And you, Mike.
Thank you.
Growing up in Florida, I learned one crucial lesson.
How to run very fast
No,
from things
quite-
with lots of teeth.
Actually, quite the opposite.
Or things with very little teeth.
Hey, Brunhilde was a very nice lady who helped many young men get through their middle school.
and she had the money to do that, what with all the meth purchases.
Yes. But point being, though, is that if you're going to be a smartass, at least know how to fight.
That's a good point.
Because, as AJ said earlier today, a lot less people would be fucking dickheads if they thought that they could get punched in the face for whatever they said.
Yeah, we were talking about people being anonymous on the internet, just saying fucky things.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's one of those things where, yes, the internet is a great tool to give everybody a voice. But the problem is, A, not everybody has something to say.
Right.
Like, let's just be honest. Not everybody is the fucking brightest bulb in the box. And the second thing is that, like, 100 years ago, if you were going to go in public and scream something, you knew that there was a possibility someone was going to sock you in the teeth.
Sure. Yes.
And that stopped people a lot of times from saying dumb shit. Nowadays, that safety net is gone. Right?
That's partially why Mike doesn't bar fight anymore.
Yeah.
Like, now that we're in our 30s,
And the money's dried up.
Really? Are we going to lie and say he doesn't bar fight anymore?
No, I don't think you've been in a bar fight in a while.
No,
That's because of the Rona.
Even before that.
The second the curve flattens in Virginia, we're taking Mike to the bar. You and I will stay sober. I'll bring my med kit. We're not even going to encourage him. We're just going to put a couple shots in him and see what happens.
Oh, crikey, we're going to release a wild Mikey.
No.
Yes, exactly.
Just see what happens.
The irony being Corona starts and prevents bar fighting for me.
No, I think the last bar
took a
fight
plague.
that I am aware of is when you and your friend got into a fist fight with Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore.
Right.
Wait,
Yeah.
wasn't that like 10 years ago?
It was like 6 years ago, yeah.
You need to get in a bar fight, Mike.
Why?
Because if it's been more than if it's been more than like 3 years.
I got to swing at Mike the Situation. I hung up the gloves.
Did you,
Where
did
does
you
it
knock
go
him the
after
fuck
that?
down?
No.
Well,
he
then
didn't
that
get
doesn't
hit.
count.
Well, I was hitting.
His
he
like
had-
6'8" bodyguard.
he was
Mike.
surrounded by bodyguards. I was swinging for the fences.
Yeah, but you should have just uppercutted the bodyguards and their penises.
Bro.
Because they're 6'8", right? They're really small, or they're really tall, so you can just like come from underneath. And
Again, I'm like
rock'em sock'em robots.
I'm like between like 6'4", 6'5". I'm super tall, but
Yeah.
like I'm not.
Is that what your Bumble profile says?
It's like Grindr.
6'4".
So, yeah.
Yeah, Mike, please finish. But then I want to tell you why everybody tells Mike that they think he's taller when they meet him in
Oh,
person.
that's-
That's entirely my fault.
It's actually super upsetting.
Is
but-
that because we all have the same height on the camera?
No. It's because I skew our pictures
Yeah.
so that way he and I look closer in height whenever
Yeah.
I post them.
Oh.
Yeah. And so when people meet him, they're like, I thought you'd be taller. And he looks, he's like, Daniel.
I literally went on a date a few years ago when I first moved out here, and we met at a restaurant, and she got out of her car, and I hopped out of my car. It was like the Kevin Hart joke, like I jumped down, like, whoa, like didn't stick the landing. So I get out, and we look at each other, and she goes, aw.
Just get back in your car and
No, I mean, I had some fire burritos, but that was the last time I talked to her.
Is that code for something? I'm getting older,
No,
so I don't want
no,
to
no.
follow the lingo.
Just good Mexican food.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, it was disheartening. Yeah, so no, again, to the Mike Situation thing, like all those bodyguards were so big, and I'm not that big, so for me to get through them to get to this guy is impossible. And for the record, he's like 5'7" too, so he's pretty short.
All right, then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like if it was 1v1, I'm knocking him out. Easy.
So we need
Yeah.
to find you a target you can take down.
Yeah, I
Like
guess.
he needs to obviously be strong enough
Yeah.
to present you a challenge.
Sure.
Because if you knock down like an 80-year-old lady, there's no challenge in that, so your victory is meaningless.
But it's a victory. Let's be real.
But
Hey, look. I'm just saying, 3 white guys should not be planning their next assault on someone.
Wait,
all right?
who's
That's how
the-
words like
Yeah.
hate group get thrown around.
who's the third white guy?
exactly. Aren't you Mexican?
He's island Mexican.
No, according to the military, I have to click Caucasian on one thing and then of Hispanic descent on the other.
Oh, okay.
Of
Yeah.
Hispanic descent.
According to the military, I'm Native Alaskan.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I'm just throwing this out there, and we talked about this earlier when we were setting up for the show. So our light trees have a color, like a color temperature.
Yeah.
So like light does. So you have one range is very bright white, like a bright white.
Yes.
And the other one's kind of like a lightish yellowish color.
You kind of have like corn tortilla and milk toast.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what milk toast means?
What's that?
Milk toast means a person who's boring. That's not an actual physical thing that exists.
Unless you make milk toast.
Yeah.
Like,
Gross.
This guy doesn't come from a place with a lot of hurricanes, and he doesn't realize that the first thing that sells out.
First of all,
Is
fuck
milk
you because
and bread.
Katrina. All right.
Bro, we were in Iraq when Katrina hit, and he was like, my house burned down. We're like, in the middle of a hurricane.
That's a whole other story. We don't have time for that.
No, we really don't. There are transvestites involved.
There was
Like,
not no. There was,
The neighbors?
Oh wait, yeah, there was one transvestite.
Vindication. I have never lied
No,
on this show.
actually, no, there was not a transvestite involved because transvestite and transgender is not the same thing.
So
Well,
which
we
one
weren't-
was it?
Transgender.
Okay.
We weren't woke enough in 2005 to understand the difference, so I'm still going to claim vindication.
Well, I like the fact that this is the one part of the story I will tell. I walked into the house after coming back from a deployment, like after it was like 2005, after Katrina I came home. I was wearing my uniform when I went home, so that like, because family wants you to do that,
Right.
And I like,
There was no TikTok, so how else are you going to get the clout?
yeah, with my family, I'm gonna get clout, right?
You
I think
always
had
need
enough,
clout,
I think
all
we've
right.
had enough discussions on the show to know that my family and clout are not the same sentence. But be that as it may, I showed up. I was in my uniform, and I think my My mother is an Army brat, and like we have Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard. Everybody for 30 generations back, we've got military. So that whole side of the family gets it, right? Like my mother has.
I bet.
My mother had intel on operations we were going to do before I had information on the operations we were going
that's
to do.
just because we were boots. We didn't know when we were going to sleep that night.
Well, no, like the fucking the CO didn't know before my mother did, because my mom tapped some resources that
Right.
I won't go into.
Yeah.
But my dad's side of the family doesn't know fuck all.
Yeah.
Like my dad I told him I was working for the State Department, and he goes, "Which state?" And I said, the U.S. State Department. Like at first I thought it was a bad dad joke, and then I realized he clearly didn't know.
Yeah.
Like he didn't know what state. And I was like, all right, here we go. So
Well, back to my original point.
Wait, hold on.
You were overseas when Katrina happened, so he doesn't know about milquetoast.
Yeah.
Milk
that's
and
fair.
bread, first thing to get bought up when a hurricane's
and
coming.
it only existed when Katrina happened. It didn't happen in Hurricane Andrew when I was home. It didn't happen in the several hurricanes that happened while I was home. It didn't happen in the one that caused me to have this scar where during a hurricane, I walked 3 hours in waist-deep water after our vehicle almost went into a ditch and got lodged in a fucking concrete
AJ
stanchion.
saw a thick woman and was like, "Oh, there." That's how I got the scar.
I'm going to tell you, Dan, that you're going to feel real dumb when we
Yeah.
finish taping, and I tell you exactly the truth behind the story of that.
I know you've told me the story. I'm just trying to make light of a very sad situation, so you don't have to relive it.
It wasn't a sad situation.
It seems very sad.
Well, the problem is that without giving details that I don't want to give on the air,
Yeah.
it ended up in being one of the few joys in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So there
good
you
for
go.
So back to the lights being different colors.
Oh, so that's what it is. So Dan has to click white on some stuff and
Yes.
Caucasian on some stuff and
Yes.
of Hispanic descent on some stuff. And so every time we set the light trees up in a on location set, or if we're in the bunker and we're doing our in studio performances, he always wants to change it to the yellowish light because it makes him look darker and makes Mike and I look sick.
No,
Yeah.
it's
He's like, it makes my migraines trigger. No, it
Yeah.
just makes him look delicious.
bright.
It makes
white
us look like we have
LEDs
polio.
Are more likely to set off brain damage migraines. Like it is.
We can just
scientific
turn
fact.
the lights down. The light trees we had before I got
Yeah.
these Chinese LEDs was like the ones you see when you go to like a mall Photoshop area.
J.C. Penney's.
Yeah, you go to JCPenney to have like boudoir photos taken of your pregnant wife.
What?
What are you talking about?
We didn't even do that in Florida.
I didn't do that at all. I'm just saying that that's the thing that happens. Like
Pregnant
wife and JCPenney.
my
That is the name of your sex tape.
no, not at all. I
That could be
disagree.
the name of this episode. Fuck that.
That's incorrect.
That is such.
I'm
just-
saying it's a thing that happens.
Mwah.
Be a teenager working at a JCPenney's
Yeah.
or a Sears where you're in a photo booth or a photo like the photo whatever place. You're gonna have for every one normal person that comes in there to have like I don't know like prom
Family.
or family
Right.
or like grandma's like silver anniversary or whatever. You've got like 30 mutants. It's like and I'm not equating pregnant ladies and mutants. Let's be clear. But I'm
Yeah,
also
yeah.
saying just like Walmart does not have exactly the highest speed clientele.
Sure.
All right. The people that go to Nordstrom are not going to Walmart.
I
But
go to both.
I go to both.
So
But
shut
we're
up.
the exception. We're the exception, not the rule.
That's
Right.
fine.
Well, nobody at this table could be accused of not going to more than one option. If you know what I'm getting at.
If you're, yeah.
Because there are times where people have been like a bit threatened by our relationships with each other.
It's true.
Yeah,
Bro, I have heard stories about you.
About me.
about you and Dan. About
Oh.
you and Dan. What? And I cannot tell you how many people I have known over the last 16 years that are so jealous of him. And they're like, I don't understand why I'm not as important as Dan is. I'm like, because he's been here for 16 years. Be around for 16 years, you'll be of equal importance. But only if he's dead and can't make up the time.
Not
Yeah.
only that though, but like there's a difference between me and other people. Like if you tell someone else like, hey, I have this going on, and they're like, oh well, that sucks. And if you tell me like, hey, some Russian mobsters need to be dealt with, I'm like, your car or mine. There's a bit of a fucking difference there between me and them.
Clearly, it's my car because you have to clean yours first.
Oh, he got me there. He did. I'll give him that one. He got me good.
I'm just saying, all we need to do is spray yours out and, disinfect it. And we'll be fine.
My bedroom is very clean. Make the bed every morning.
Right.
But my car is my truck is my vice.
He was so proud of himself when he cleaned his room and he went and got new adult sheets.
I know.
He was like, the sheets are taupe, and I was like,
Taupe.
I was like, only women can. Only each individual woman knows what taupe looks like.
Yeah.
Like no man understands the color taupe, because every single woman, 100%, is guaranteed to know what taupe looks like, but only to them.
Yes. I did it specifically so that way my girl will feel more comfortable when she's
Right.
staying with me.
If I put 10 women
Yeah.
in a room and asked them all to describe the color taupe, they'd all say something different.
You want to know how radical this fucking adjustment was? I went from having one pillow in my bed. Guess how many I have now?
2,
4.
Why?
I don't know. That's what women like. They like pillows.
I like to point out that we both answered in sync, and I have not been in his room since he added pillows.
Since you stole his pillows.
I know him well enough by this point.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Wow.
Sam.
The pillows match the sheets.
Are they also taupe?
2 of them are, and then 2 of them are an off color that goes with the other part of the sheets.
Who are you?
Because you have to do tones,
don't know.
right? You can't
Yeah.
just put everything one color.
Everything is either black and gray in my life. In bed, like everything.
The only splash of color in his apartment is the 3D printout cutout that some fan sent him of Mike.
Of myself.
himself?
Yeah.
The cutout cardboard poster of
Is
Mike with a Hawaiian shirt.
Looking
holding
like
a
Magnum
submachine gun.
PI?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the only splash of color in his apartment.
Magnum PU.
Really opens the room.
Well, that and the stain of guacamole puke from like.
It won't come out.
Yeah.
It just won't come out.
I'm real sorry about that.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You and your
That's
Chuck E. Cheese farts.
Oh my God. We don't have the time, but I'll tell you. Some stuff. I walked into the living room the other day. So there's times when, like, during the week, I have to
We don't have time, but you go into it.
for the whole thing. I'm abridged version. This is the Cliff's Notes. So during the week, I telework for my job because of the Rona, right?
Right.
So I'll leave my room at about 7:30. I go down into the basement where my computer terminal is set up. I'll log in. We have the group text from everybody in the unit, so everybody's like awake, right? And when you log in, the unit chief can see who's logged in and who's not, so they know if you're looking at stuff and you're doing your job.
Right.
But on my way, whenever Sam is in town, he is awake at that hour instead of 2 p.m.
Okay.
Yes.
And so I'll walk through the room and I'll be like, hey, Dan, how you doing? Good morning. And he's like, good morning, buddy. And I'll grab a cup of coffee and I'll go downstairs. The other day I walked through the living room and he looked at me. I was like, morning, buddy. And he's like, hey, I got this stuff called unicorn stank or whatever it was.
Unicorn gold.
There you go. He goes,
You
I
take
got
this stuff and you spray it in the toilet, and it forms a protective barrier around your toilet water, so when the turd splashes, stinky air doesn't come up.
It's just like when you get clear coat offered to you by the dealer when you buy your car.
Right.
Yeah. So just apropos of nothing, out of nowhere, he looks at me. He goes, I was like, good morning, Dan. And he goes, hey, I got this stuff called unicorn stank, and it seals the toilet so you don't have to smell my poops. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
I could just see him like leaning against the wall in a kimono, just like, I got unicorn stank. Like, who the fuck are you?
I was just like, all right, thanks for that information. I'm going to work now.
Well, see, I've seen him in some very precarious situations.
You
There's
put me
times-
in some pretty precarious situations.
Also true, but still.
Thank you for admitting it for once.
There's times where I'll see him doing something either highly illegal or highly disgusting, and we'll just
I've
make
never
eye
done anything
contact,
illegal in my life.
Make eye contact, and I'll just walk away, and we will never speak of it.
You speak of it on the you design an entire show.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've heard the things I've said, that's just the things I'm allowed to say. Imagine the things I'm not allowed to say.
Hey, you signed a non-disclosure agreement. That
I had to
was
sign
your
like
fault.
4.
No, they're good for the life of the contract.
Yeah, one for each time zone, because
Oh.
I try to get out of it that way. But
Here's an
yeah.
interesting thing about the military I'll point out there to you that I learned recently. And it's not just the military, but the government generally, but it applies to our audience.
Yeah.
The first time you sign the government's non-disclosure agreement form, that's binding for life. It doesn't matter if you get out. It doesn't matter what happens. It is binding for life. If the fucking Pentagon has a press conference and releases the information you were told you can't disclose, you still can't disclose that information.
Right.
Binding for life. And yet, they'll make you sign the fucking thing every 6 months for the rest of your career. I've signed 6 when I worked for the State Department. And I signed 2 a year when I worked for DOD.
So, ladies and gentlemen, just imagine the things I wish I could tell you about AJ's life. But be that as it may, I can't because he's a perfect angel and a saint. So, Mike.
Yes, I want to hear from Mike now.
No, I got something for him. So AJ's a million years old, and we were listening to NPR, and they ran a story.
Have a bag of these monos.
He was listening to a story.
Bag of Richards.
A local pizzeria came under fire because instead of making their own pizza, they were just buying Chuck E. Cheese pizzas in bulk and putting it in their boxes and delivering it.
I love it. Not only are you A, cutting corners, saving money like a sleaze bag, which is always makes me happy, but B, Chuck E. Cheese pizza's delicious.
They're so bad.
They're good.
Well, here's the thing. Did you order a pizza? Yes. Did you pay for a pizza? Yes. Did you receive a pizza? Yes. Wherein lies the crime?
The fact that somebody with a mustache like Mike's made that pizza.
Who's to say that someone with a mustache like Mike's wouldn't have made that pizza anyway?
Have you seen the cooks at Chuck E. Cheese?
Have you seen the pizza guy at Panucci's Pizza?
No, I haven't actually. Is he hot?
Garbo.
Ugly
disappointing.
AF. Yeah.
As the youth would say,
Yeah.
Garbo.
So, yeah, no, I will die on this Chuck E. Cheese sword every single time. I think Chuck E. Cheese as a corporation is very sketchy, but as far as pizza quality, it's not bad. It's decent pizza.
Welcome to Chow Casino and Rat Pizza Emporium.
It's like going to Southern California and
Yeah.
you see the taco truck that's like questionably appointed, food safety stickers.
Yeah.
It's just like a dude who barely speaks English, but they got the best fucking tacos.
The sanitation rating just says yes.
It's not a
says
grade.
meh?
It's just.
Yeah, it says meh.
It's not a grade. It's just an upside down question mark.
Good reference.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, good reference.
I learned how to put an upside down question mark on text on my phone.
Congratulations.
Specifically, so when he sends me some fucky shit on text, I can be like K, but I can write it correctly because I'm not going to abuse his culture.
You're a cultured man.
He is very cultured.
That's a
So-
word for it.
Mike, anything else going on with your life before we get out of here? We ran a bit over time.
I know,
That's
yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
yeah.
we?
No,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Shock.
I love you guys. Stay safe and stop kissing each other on the mouth.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
All right, I tried. Just remember that when you get the Rona. it's
I'm
from
just
him.
saying he's more cautious than I am. He's the only one I can make out with that I 100% know doesn't have the Rona.
I am
mean,
the most cautious between the two of us. I am more paranoid.
I mean,
will
I
say
don't know
that.
how cautious Sam is.
Why are you bringing Sam into
I'm
this?
just saying because she kisses him, he kisses me. I can get transfer that way.
Is that how you guys do goodnight kisses?
I mean, not in the same
It
room.
goes from Sam to Dan to you.
not in the same room, just because that makes Sam super jealous.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, she's turning red out in the audience right now.
She's literally
Hi, Sam.
she's under a table right now, pretty
Yeah.
much.
No, so the
She
way it
looks like a
goes
stop
is
sign.
Yeah.
Do go ahead. The way it goes is what?
AJ kisses a bottle of whiskey goodnight.
Right. And then shoves it in his ass. What the fuck? I don't know what you do.
I drink it like a fucking person.
Through your ass. Yeah, I got it.
No, you can't taste it through your ass.
Yes, you can actually.
The
Your
only
butthole has,
thing that
like,
should go
taste
in your
buds.
ass is Strikeforce Energy.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Did you see the email I sent to the group from,
No, what
from
did
the
it-
fan? He was like, I tried Strikeforce, and no, not through my asshole. And
No, I
it's like,
100% saw. He
Yeah.
was like, I love the lemon flavor the best. That's how I knew it was a lie. No, he said it, and he was like, I'm not going to say the guy's name, but he was like, this is 100% this guy and not the person he claimed
Right,
to be.
exactly.
And there's like this long text about, I tried lemon Strikeforce. It was my favorite, and I didn't put it in my beehole, which guarantees he put it in his beehole.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, lemon's my favorite because I like to put in unsweet tea.
Yeah. Lemon's the worst.
How dare you say you grew up in Florida and you drink unsweet tea?
Look, I am close to 300 pounds. I'm trying not to get close to 400 pounds.
So
I've made adjustments, all right?
So you drank sweet tea up until you and Sam started dating, and now you're back to the non-diabetes version.
You know what this girl has me doing? She's got me running, okay?
I
We're
know.
wrapping up the show. This is a lot of wormholes. We're going through.
She's like,
This is how this works.
Yeah, I
Mike.
know.
He throws it to you. You're like, I got nothing. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
And then-
That's my sign off. I'm like Walter Cronkite. I'm trying to end this shit.
I want to see the video of Walter Cronkite being like, I got no news for you fellas. I'm just happy to be here.
no, but I will end on this note. Apparently, Sam says I have to live past 50, and I can't die. I have a degenerate heart condition at 52.
All these rules.
Yeah, so she's got me eating vegetables.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, that's because when you're 50,
Those things that come with wings.
Yeah.
well, that's just because when you're 50, she'll be like 27. So she wants you to live long enough for her to get to her 30s.
26.
So that way when you die, she'll have a good story to tell her next husband.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I told her, it's like, if I die at an earlier age, then you'll still be young enough to date. Like, it would be selfish of me to live so old that you're like past your dating prime. You know, that's my philosophy.
You're such
on
a
that.
good guy.
The thing is, though, you can't get too famous first, though,
Yeah.
because then that puts a mark on her. So when she's dating, when she's 30 and you're dead,
Yeah.
right? They'll be like, "Oh man, you were married to that Pop Smoke guy,"
Yeah.
right? And they'll be like, "I don't need any of that trauma. You're obviously broken." Like just assuming she's broken because she was around you and how fucking busted you are.
Wow. All right, well, I'm gonna go kill myself
No
now.
shit. Yeah.
We'll get you a burrito on the way home.
You
It's
remember
fine.
how AJ was talking about how he's not
Yeah.
mean to me?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I'm not. This isn't me. Look, I'm saying I would let you eat whatever you wanted because I love you.
Because you clearly don't like me very much.
Because I love you. And you know what George Bernard Shaw said? He said, if you don't drink and you don't smoke, you don't live longer. It just feels like you live longer. So you have all the fucking burritos you want because I love you. Sam. She's turning a deeper shade of red
exactly.
now.
Yes.
Anything else, guys?
I'm good, man.
Bye. If you have a batshit crazy story that you want us to read on the show, shoot us an email at info@popsmokemedia.com. Also, check out our social media. You can shoot us DMs there. Stay up to date on all the latest Smoke Pit news. Also, check out our merchandise at popsmokemedia.com. Give this podcast 5 stars. We'd appreciate it. And share it with your friends.